When it comes to physical properties of alkenes, many of these properties do parallel properties of corresponding alkanes quite close. The reason for that is that the loss of two hydrogens really doesn't make much difference in the molecular shape or overall polarity, and so we still see a very close resemblance between the boiling point of an alkene and the corresponding alkane, and also see the similar effect that we saw in the alkane series, and that is that the branching starts decreasing the boiling point as expected. So in terms of polarities, alkenes are a little more polar than alkanes. There are two main reasons for this. The first one is that the carbon-carbon double bond is polarizable. So if this is a molecule of cis-2-butene, this bond will be polarizable, which means that it will be irregularly deformed in the presence of external stimuli. So that means that it does assign, that has a greater propensity for having these induced dipoles and just CC single bond. The other difference comes from the fact that alkenes have sp2 hybridized hydrogens and sp2 carbons. And an sp2 hybridized carbon has a larger component of S character than the sp3 hybridized. On account of that, its electrons are closer to the nucleus, and so these carbons are a little more electronegative. Than sp3 hybridized carbons. And the sp3 hybridized carbons are the ones which have a larger component of p character, so that means that they have electrons further away from the nucleus. In other words, if we have a bond such as this one between two carbons, then this dipole will have sort of a dipole moment pointing in this direction, which will be measurable. As we've seen before, the cis and trans isomers differ in polarity. The trans isomers tend to be less polar because the dipoles cancel out. So this would have a dipole of 0 and a boiling point of just 1 degree centigrade, while this has a relatively measurable dipole and a boiling point which is slightly greater, but still greater, about 4 degrees. So in terms of their physical properties overall, polarities are slightly off from alkanes, but boiling points, melting points, and densities are quite remarkably similar to alkanes. This will be all for today's lecture, and then next week we'll start talking a little bit more about the reactivity of alkanes.